Hey guys, Mike and Keely with Long Range with the Lilies out at Rifles Only prior to the brawl with Chris Way of the Kraft Rifle Data Challenge. We're just going to have Chris walk us through your process. Both Keely and I are going to shoot your static or your baseline and your stress test. Is that right?
That's right.
So what does that consist of?
It's 12 shots. It's 3 shots standing, build and break, 3 shots kneeling, build and break, 3 shots seated, build and break, and 3 shots prone, build and break. And what it does is gives you a really good idea of your positional shooting shifts and your consistency in a variety of positions.
So conditions today are a little less than ideal. We got a pretty strong 18-mile-an-hour crosswind. That's, it's blowing us around a little bit. When you enter the data on the chart or on your website, would you account for that? Would you just make a blurb, or would you just kind of mentally lock that away?
I wouldn't. No, I think that what we're trying to get is a representation of what it would be like to shoot in an unknown condition, under any condition. So the windier, the colder, the hotter, the sandier, the more data that you can get in the variety of conditions, you have a good idea of how you're going to shoot and what your hit probability is. The group size isn't going to be sexy, but it's a kind of a real look at what are your hit rate expectations in any condition. So if you're doing it indoors only, you're not going to have reliable statistical data, but out here in the wind and any other conditions, it's going to give you a glimpse of what it might be like if you had to take an unknown shot from an unknown position and whether or not you're going to hit it.
Okay. All right. So we'll just get right to it. It's like I'm feeling the wind move me. So bag off everything.
You're going to build it and break it.
And there's no time.
No time.
Times through.
Yep, 2 more reps. match, you know that, you know, if you favored right on the target, you know, you're going to, percentage-wise, you're going to be bringing your hits in. But I think that just looking at this, because you want it to be centered around your point of aim. So my guess is your 0 is 2/10 to you know, left of where you're aiming. So you're going to aim right 2/10 for the stress test. And if you do that, because of that shift, I would do 14 seconds, because that'll shift you to center.
Okay, 14 seconds. All right. So hold on. We got to talk to it. Are you ready?
If this was uniform around this, you know, I would say that you're stuck at 16 seconds. But because there's a 0 shift and we didn't confirm zeros,
yeah,
you know, this group is centered 2/10 left of your point of aim.
Okay.
So you're going to aim 2/10 right at your point of aim for the stress. And what I'm hoping to see is a uniform distribution, but you'll, you know, probably in the 6 zone. Right? Now think about it this way though. You've got 12 shots here, right? 9 of which are like about a 1.5 MOA.
Yeah.
And so that's 75% at 1.5 MOA. That is a hit rate that I think equates to competition. And if you went to a competition and you shot 75% here at Rifles only, is that percentage you'd be happy with? Because that's likely your predictive hit percentage.
I would say no. I want to be in the, you know, the 90s, down here, 90% hit rate.
Okay. So we got to bring these 3 outliers
Yeah.
in, but the only way that you're going to really see how that works is under stress. And so the stress is really going to be the big test.
Yeah, let's do it. I like to think I perform under pressure.
Yeah. If you hear shooters practice build and break drills,
Yeah.
most of the time, what I think people are doing is standing here, imagining shooter ready, go. 2 steps on.
Yeah, 100%.
Shoot.
I mean, I know I'm guilty of that too.
And then they say, okay, well, I'm going to practice kneeling, and they get behind like this, ready, go.
Yeah.
But in any stage, you do that once, right? So the stress drill forces you to build and break from your previous position, so that you're not only training the building, but the unbuilding and transitioning between those positions. So if we're going to start on standing, then we're going to start the clock. Start. And I think that training those reps first identifies weaknesses, like, oh shit, this bag wobbles, or oh, when I come up and I'm moving my gun, how am I gonna deal with my shit? And all of those components. Well, let me use any match that I've ever been at.
Yeah.
I'm ready to shoot, and oh shit, I dropped my bag. Now I gotta get down, and now I'm really freaked out. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna run out of time. Oh, how much time do I have left? Oh shit, I'm all over the place. In this way, you're training that all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's meaningful, purposeful reps.
But instead of saying, oh, I can do this in 8 seconds, we're saying, oh well, can you unbuild and then rebuild and shoot in 14?
That changes everything. I actually thought the drill went the other way, where you just sat out behind the thing and then just went into it.
Yeah, no. Because what we're doing is trying to manage, so much of it is building and then transitioning your shit from one place to another. And it's not just karate chop shoot. It's, how can I get this bag there with a rifle that needs to also move together, and in that short period of time, if I mess up, is my brain gonna say, oh fuck, or is it gonna say, I got this?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Okay. All right. Well, let's give it a go.
2, 1, go. So, yeah, but that also tells you, like, okay, you've got a little optimal time too. So
Yeah.
if you need, then you can like slow it down. Try to maximize that part time.
So bolt back, standing right here.
Yep. All right. Ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Have it.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So you're going for your par time, you're going a little fast.
Okay.
Right, you got 4 seconds. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
And should be over here.
Yep. All right. That was actually probably perfect for your time because you did it 0.19 over. So
Yeah, that was a really bad shot though. It's fine.
all right. So then come back.
My bipod was definitely not set up the way it needed to be.
All right. You're gonna start from.
So that one's definitely the high right one.
Okay.
Oh, start
Oh,
from?
get front.
I think you just want to make me do burpees.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Fuck, you're so fast. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Put your shots around 11 seconds out. Got one. Yeah, right there. Another bad shot. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. You got one. Is it gonna be double?
One of the shots really bad.
One step because you pulled 3, so that's 1. Center group double. Fine.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, two, one, go. Three, two, one, go.
Ah, shit.
All right. That was still 0.21. That was perfect.
I-
Right? You just did it.
I didn't have a round bucket in there.
No, but you did it, right?
Yeah.
Sick. That's it.
Not great. All right, let's go check it out.
Told you it's not sexy.
This was one that, like on my first pass,
Yeah.
this is like, it's not that great.
Right.
Then all of them were right here, and I did dial a 10th right.
Okay.
But I think that needs to come back out. But
Yeah.
and then this was that one that that was a super bad shot.
I mean, so if you look at this group and this group, it's essentially doubled to the, what I would consider the 3 ring, from the 1.5 to the 3, and that's usually what you see. But you're also a competitor, and so competitors tend to have a smaller increase than people that don't because they rush the shots and they don't know how to build it. But considering that, you definitely kept it within the ring of your baseline if you count your 3 pulled shots.
And I'm averaging what, like 11, 12 seconds?
11 seconds.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of, if you slow it down a little bit, and it'll come you know, I think that the goal ultimately is to bring your stress group to the size of your baseline, right? So taking the baseline every once in a while, but then, you know, if you once a week do the stress test and chart that over time, if this improves, right, I think your overall fundamentals.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it, you know, it changes with different conditions, different weather, you know, what, like I took my jacket off, you know, I don't know if that causes a little bit of shift, but
we're seeing a shift. So what I've noticed that looking at all the data is that amongst like about 1,000 shooters, there tends to be a 2/10 to well, it's about just under 3/10 of a point of impact shift among all shooters from the game. So, you know, it's not unusual to see a group, you know, let's take these pulled shots out, and somebody will say, wow, look, my gun shoots half an inch. But realistically, it's a 2 MOA target that you hit.
Yeah.
Right. It's not your group. It's the target that you were aiming at.
Right.
So here you've got 75% of your shots are on a 3 MOA plate, right? Under stress. Here, 75% of your shots are on a 2 MOA plate. So rather than thinking about your group size, I mean, noticing how much it increases is important, but I think also understanding that, you know, you got to shift left here, you got to shift right here, and that needs to be accounted for under stress. So now you know 75% of my shots on a 3 MOA plate with a good wind call are going to land. But to me, what that tells you is that you know, just from this, and there's definitely work that you could do, but if this is considering, right, is 75% a statistical kind of benchmark that you're comfortable with taking the shot? If it's at a competition, you get 75%, but if you're hunting, 25% of your shots aren't going to be
that's a great point.
Acceptable size.
That's not acceptable at all.
So that's knowledge that you have to have from forcing yourself to do things that aren't showing your, you know, showing your best shooting.
Yeah, so obviously not my best. I definitely want that one back. That one could have been better, but it's what I did. Like under stress on a real test, like this is how I perform, and that's what I love about this data is it's just the paper shows what you did. It doesn't make you feel good. It just shows you exactly what you did.
And it also points out very clearly that when you make a fundamental error, you always shoot left.
That's true.
So whatever it is in your mechanics, now you can go back to your body and you can say, I'm doing something fundamentally. I don't teach. So you could go to Jacob and say, when I pull a shot, I pull it left. What am I doing? You could say, oh, you're pulling the trigger this way, or your cheek's hitting this, or your shoulder's bladed to the right. Whatever they're going to do to diagnose what that is. Once you diagnose why you pull these shots, your hit percentages go up. So that's why I think that when on the craft, when we diagnose where the lowest hanging fruit for you is to identify why you pull shots left, not this stuff, right? I would focus more on you're doing something that consistently sends misses to the left, right? That's 5 out of 24 shots.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So statistically, that's important to me, and it says that fundamentally you need to identify that first. Then when it's uniform, then you bring it in and bring it small. If you focus on just making a small group and say, oh fuck it, those are flyers, you've got a really high probability of making an unethical shot or just missing in a comp and saying, oh shit, the wind's strong, and then correcting 2 mils and then missing off the right. You know, and so I would say the lowest hanging fruit, in my opinion, from looking at a lot of data is you've got a fundamental weakness that could be fixed probably with just 10 minutes of an expert.
Sure.
Saying, I see it, try it now, and those will go away. Once that's done, all of a sudden your statistical probability of hitting 3 MOA is now 95%.
Right.
95% is a more comfortable number.
Sure.
And to me, once you're there and you bring it in, now you can start saying, okay, well, this doesn't factor in wind, but now you can add wind into the distance. But this is how you're going to shoot at a distance also. So your misses are going to be significant and they're going to be to the left when it's fundamental.
Yep.
How do you know what that is? know, that's where you go get an expert to diagnose that.
We're home from Texas and we're getting ready for the AG Cup next week. And I just wanted to go through a baseline and a stress test in kind of a more controlled environment. When we did it down in Texas, it was like 18 miles an hour wind and it was blowing me around. So we shot a baseline test and came out to a 12-second part time as described by Chris. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run through the stress test about 3 times and get the data to Chris, and we'll see how it goes. So stress test, 12-second part time. My man Aiden's going to run me through it. He's super enthused. All right, guys, here we go.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yeah.
Stand by.
Okay.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Okay.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. .03.
Okay.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. .66. Shooter, are you ready?
Come on. Yep.
Stand by. Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
So still within time.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. 10.57. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. 10.08. Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. 8.92.
That's fine.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. 11.34.
Okay.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
I didn't get the round in.
14.43.
Yeah, I left a round at the caddy. All right, so a little bit over time on that last one, but I had to get the round out of my caddy. I feel like I still achieved the idea of being under stress. So what we'll do now is we'll go down range and check our targets. All right. All right, guys, so we're down at the target. Here's my baseline target. As you can see, everything's within the 2 ring. I had a couple that were starting to approach the 2 ring there. Actually, this one here is the only one that's like completely in the 2 ring. So I feel good about my baseline. No wind today, unlike Texas. Very controlled environment. And this is a good representation of a baseline with no time stress. This is my first time stress one. As you can see, they're all within the 2. I feel good about the target except for this one little guy over here. The buzzer was going off and I yanked the trigger trying to beat that buzzer. and obviously made a pretty bad shot there. So that would have definitely been a miss on pretty much any target out there. But I feel good about this. And then I ran it again just to see if I could improve on it, and it's very similar. They're all within the 2. I got a couple that were right on the line of the 2. This is that one that I called pretty far off. I was like, it felt like a bad trigger press. But so there it is. This is how I do in a controlled environment. I shot 36 rounds, and I feel like I got some really good purposeful practice in, as well as a little bit of a workout. My heart rate got up there a little bit, you know, breaking those positions. So some key takeaways: doing the drill properly adds a lot of stress to you. By properly, I mean not just setting up, you know, taking 2 steps up and throwing a bag, going from prone up to standing, standing to kneeling. So vacating that last shooting position and going into your new shooting position is actually really critical to get good, accurate data. So riflecraft.com, guys, great resource. Thanks Chris Way for showing this to us and giving us some feedback. So if you guys like our videos, make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends, and then get out there, get some good quality purposeful practice in. Talk to you later, guys.